While you can't receive payment, the placenta has significant value in medicine and cosmetics, leading to a system where hospitals profit from donated or discarded placentas while ensuring parents don't get paid for them. And it's like, oh yeah, you gotta pay us to give birth, even though we're gonna sell your organ while you do that. Like, what? And then if you have a boy and you get him circumcised, they might sell the foreskin too. Some reports have estimated that the potential value of all the products derived from one foreskin to be as high as $190 million. These cells are used to grow new skin for burn victims and diabetic ulcers, in biomedical research, and in the production of high-end anti-aging skin creams. Let's just throw that in at the end there, like it's not as popular as these other things that we've listed first, right? A conservative street value of the placenta today at around $50,000, and that could double or triple in the next 5 to 10 years. Placentas have been used for decades in eye surgeries. The grandparents of the newborn actually consume and eat the foreskin. If parents wish their child to be very devout, then they'll bury the placenta in the courtyard of a mosque. If they want their child to care for animals, they'll bury it in a stable. What is up, Star Seeds? My name is Sydalexandria, and today we have a weird video, but an interesting video. So I compiled basically like a script for this from all the notes that I've taken from researching lately. So we are just going to get into it. I was wondering, where do those human waste, medical waste bins from hospitals, from tattoo shops, from all these places go? Where does the blood go? Where do the organs go? All of that human tissue, what have you, what happens to it? The answer I got was basically at, let's just say, the hospitals, because that's probably the number one place that this happens at. Hospitals usually divide stuff out as the waste is coming in, okay? So there's boxes for the sharp objects, like needles, like knives with lots of blood on it, I'd imagine, that are more of like the disposable kind, etc. There's boxes for sharps, there's red bags, which I'm assuming is for blood or organs or something, there's bandages, gloves, etc. So that's usually sorted as it's being accumulated. If not, then it's their responsibility to sort it out. Depending on the situation, the facility, it might go to pathology to be analyzed. For example, if there's some medical issue with a woman during pregnancy, like if she has preeclampsia, then that placenta will go to pathology to be analyzed before, if she wants to take it home, she can take it home, before it goes to their incinerator at the hospital, if they incinerate their own medical waste there, and then put the ashes into the garbage to go to a landfill, or before they send it to a licensed medical waste company. Because after it's all sorted out at the hospital, or like the needle boxes at a tattoo shop, it goes to a licensed medical waste company. At least that's what online is telling me. The reason I'm researching this is because I'm kind of curious if this is the truth. So I'm going to tell you guys what Ecosaya and what Google told me, and you can take that for what you will. I do think there's definitely truth to it. I also think there might be some parts that they're leaving out. Anyways, back to the story. So it goes to a licensed medical waste company. They pick up that waste, they take it to a biohazard waste collection, or it's incinerated on site at the hospital like a lot of hospitals do. Anyways, so if it goes to this biohazard waste collection, they will sterilize it by steaming it, called autoclaving. That's done at 249.8 degrees to 273.2 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 121 to 134 degrees Celsius. Or they will incinerate it, and that's at, super high temperatures, way hotter than the steaming is. This kills all pathogens, making it safe to dispose of at a specially designed sanitary landfill with liners and leachate collection systems. So that means there's pipes and stuff under the ground so that when it rains and all the gunk kind of builds up under there, it doesn't get as into the ecosystem as it would if there wasn't those systems in place. Now, if there's things that can be recycled, like if there's some metal in somebody's limb that got amputated or something like that, that can go to a recycling facility after the sterilization process is completed. But that's not their main goal. Their main goal is to sterilize this before they put it into a landfill. Only if donated can medical waste be used for research, for students to learn in medical school, or something like that. Only if you say, you know, I want to donate this, can that legally be done. I'm sure in the future I'll talk about some stories regarding that statement in general, that only if you can donate can they do stuff like that with it. But I found a really disturbing comment from somebody on Reddit that said that they used to work at a recycling sorting plant, and the amount of bags filled with blood, surgical waste, etc. that came through their line was not small. Not great to hear, but okay. Getting into kind of more questions that I had that led to further research. So where does blood go? So blood from surgeries either goes into collection bags via surgical drains like JP or Hemovac to be monitored and discarded through the same biohazard waste process that we just talked about. It goes to the facility, gets steamed, or gets incinerated. Then it goes to a special landfill with extra liners and stuff in the ground. That's what they're saying. Or another place blood, specifically during surgeries, can go is it can be collected in a cell saver system for major blood loss, like to recycle the patient's own blood loss during surgery. So there's a machine that collects blood, filters out impurities like fat and debris. It washes the red blood cells and platelets. Then the clean blood is given back to the patient as a transfusion, reducing the need for donated blood. Okay, so now I asked, what about foreskin? After circumcision, the foreskin is typically discarded as medical waste, but it can be donated for research, like researching stem cell therapies, vaccine development, genetic studies, etc. In some cultures, it's used in traditional ceremonies with disposal depending on medical policies, parental consent, and cultural practices. So there is a ritual, the Sambatra ritual, that some of the Antambaharaka people of the southeast Madagascar practice. The grandparents of the newborn actually consume and eat the foreskin. And for some boys born into a Jewish family, on the 8th day of life, the Brit Mala ceremony happens, where the foreskin is removed by a moil, which is a ritual circumcisioner, as a physical sign of the covenant between God and the Jewish people. That's followed by prayers, blessings, and naming the child. And some moils preserve the foreskin in jars with spices like cloves for burial in Israel. Some families bury the foreskin perhaps under like a tree that they plant for the child. We're going to come back to this foreskin topic at the end of the video, but for now, I'm just kind of going in order that I researched this. We're going to talk about placenta, because after birth, the placenta is usually discarded as biohazardous medical waste for routine disposal, similar to foreskin, similar to blood, similar to all other types of organs as well. But parents can choose to take it home for cultural rituals like burying it, planting a tree over it. In Turkey, if parents wish their child to be very devout, then they'll bury the placenta in the courtyard of a mosque. If they want their child to care for animals, they'll bury it in a stable. I think that's actually a really cool, interesting way to look at it. It's Jewish tradition to bury the placenta beneath the entryway to the home as a means to deter the evil eye from entering. Now that's literally just what I found in my research. Not very extensive research, so definitely let me know in the comments if you know a different Jewish tradition when it comes to placenta in general. People might preserve the placenta or parts of it in resin for jewelry. They might have it encapsulated and consume it for potential health benefits. In some areas of South Africa, selected pieces of the placenta and umbilical cord are dried, crushed into a powder, and then used to treat infertility and promote sibling bonding. I thought that last part, the promote sibling bonding, was kind of extra interesting. Even just used to treat infertility, it would make sense energetically. People might send it to a private blood or tissue bank storage service for potential future medical use. I didn't really know that was a thing. Or donate it for medical research into treating autoimmune diseases, arthritis, injuries, or in surgery like wound healing, skin grafts to treat severe burns, eye treatments. Placentas have been used for decades in eye surgeries for repair. spinal surgeries, never would have guessed that one, diabetic ulcers, etc. If you want to bring your placenta home, you should bring a cooler or a freezer bag. My hospital asked if I had a bag of herbs to put my placenta in, and I was like, no, I just want to take it home. I didn't know I needed all that, even though I literally told all of my doctors from the moment that I started going to them that I wanted to keep my placenta. Nobody told me about the recommended or perhaps necessary preparations that you need to make in order to do that. So that's something to think about if you're ever going to have a baby. The placenta is valuable because it is rich in stem cells, growth factors, collagen, and nutrients. It supports hormonal balance and immune function during pregnancy, with its main role being nutrient and oxygen supply from mother to baby, waste removal, filtering waste products from the baby's blood, and immune defense, protecting the baby from harmful substances and infections during pregnancy. After birth, it can be used in wound healing to reduce inflammation and promote tissue regrowth. It can also be dehydrated and turned into a powder for skincare products. If donated, hospitals can make money from placentas by selling them in bulk for research or cosmetics. Hospitals can sell placentas to biotech companies for developing new therapies for wounds and for stem cell research, though they typically dispose of them as medical waste if you don't donate. Of course they do. You can choose to donate to programs that use it for life-saving therapies, providing a benefit to you and others. Isn't that so heartwarming? I'm sure there is amazing things that the placenta is used for, that the foreskin is used for. Like, our bodies are amazing. I don't doubt the benefits of it. I'm sure there's medical benefits. I'm sure there's amazing research that can be done. There might be amazing research that is being done too. I just am skeptical as to what companies are doing good things and what companies are doing shady things, as we all really should be, okay? But like I said, I don't doubt the amazing things that can be done with it. I just also don't doubt the terrible things that can be done with it too. While you cannot receive financial compensation for it, the placenta is a valuable organ that can be donated to help others. The law is designed to prevent a black market and avoid coercing people in financial need into selling body parts, which I totally get that. However, there already is a black market for it at the same time, okay? So there was a law put in place that you can't sell organs like that. I don't want AI to tell me answers when I look things up online, but it just does without me asking. So this is what one of the sum-ups was. In essence, while you can't receive payment, the placenta has significant value in medicine and cosmetics, leading to a system where hospitals profit from donated or discarded placentas while ensuring parents don't get paid for them. Who benefits indirectly? Birth parents receive the satisfaction of helping others and sometimes small thank you gifts. Patients receive therapies for traumatic wounds, diabetic ulcers, eye injuries, and in surgeries. Hospitals and procurement organizations cover operating costs and facilitate donation. So the process of donating placenta is consent to donate, providing a blood sample for screening and completing a health questionnaire, the hospital collecting the placenta after delivery, treating it like donated organs, then companies processing it into allografts, which are tissue grafts for medical use. So the high value, potentially tens of thousands of dollars for the final product, covers significant processing, testing, and distribution costs. No profit for the donor. Organizations that collect donated placentas for research or therapy pay processing labs, which might reimburse them $1,200 to $2,000, I'm assuming that's US dollars, per placenta. Given all the caveats, parentsguidecordblood.org estimates a conservative street value of the placenta today at around $50,000, and that could double or triple in the next 5 to 10 years. I think that's kind of a lowball number. Like they said, conservative street value. The placenta, it's used in so many different things, so it could be even more valuable than 50 grand. And we pay a lot of money to give birth in America too. So I think that's just ridiculous that people are profiting off of it. And it's like, oh yeah, you gotta pay us to give birth, even though we're gonna sell your organ while you do that. Like, what? And then if you have a boy and you get him circumcised, they might sell the foreskin too. So let's go back to foreskin for a minute. Hospitals do not typically get money for foreskin directly in the sense of a fixed payment for the tissue itself. Instead, the removed foreskin can be used in medical research and biotech industry, which use the fast-growing cells to cultivate new skin for grafts or to develop other biomedical products, where processed materials derived from it can be very valuable. So a single foreskin can reportedly yield enough cells to create many square feet of skin graft material, which is crucial for treating burn victims and people with certain conditions. First of all, I don't really know that many people who have gotten skin grafts from being burned. I mean, skin grafts in general, I can probably list a handful of people. But I feel like when you look up things about foreskin and things about placenta, that's like the number one thing they like to say is, oh yeah, it's essential for burn victims. Like, how many placentas and foreskins do you think they have? A lot more than there are burn victims, in my humble opinion. Estimates suggest that the retail value of products derived from one baby's foreskin could range from thousands to even millions of dollars, depending on applications, which also include some high-end cosmetic creams. So depending on, what it's used for, it could be worth millions of dollars, literally one baby's foreskin. That's mind-blowing. A hospital's revenue comes from the billing of the procedure itself, not from selling the tissue, because you can't sell tissue and organs and stuff like that. The cost of a neonatal circumcision can range from $250 to $400, I'm assuming, US dollars, but it's usually covered by insurance. So the significant value is realized much later in the supply chain by the biotech and pharmaceutical companies that process the tissue into advanced therapeutic products. Once again, hospitals typically dispose of foreskin as medical waste. I'm sure they do. Depending on hospital policy, parental consent, and local regulations, parents can keep it for cultural or traditional purposes, or they can be donated for valuable medical research like skin grafts. Like I said, they love to throw that out there. Toxicology, vaccine and genetic research, and cosmetic testing, because that's a valuable medical research, cosmetic testing. Used in advanced skincare products because of the fibroblast cells, which are the most common cells in connective tissue responsible for producing collagen, ECM, which is extracellular matrix, to provide structural support, maintain tissue integrity, and plays crucial roles in wound healing, immune response, and tissue repair. Once processed, neonatal foreskin fibroblast cells can be cultured and multiplied exponentially for decades. A single millimeter of foreskin fibroblast cells can be purchased for around $427 US dollars from research supply companies. A vial of foreskin fibroblast flakes can cost around $85 US dollars. Some reports have estimated that the potential value of all the products derived from one foreskin to be as high as $190 million. These cells are used to grow new skin for burn victims and diabetic ulcers, in biomedical research, and in the production of high-end anti-aging skin creams. Let's just throw that in at the end there, like it's not as popular as these other things that we've listed first, right? I'm gonna have another video who all gets circumcised, the percentages of different races, because I found it interesting. The reason why I find it interesting is because a lot of it is due to a blend of historical, cultural, religious, and perceived medical reasons, because this only became the norm in the 19th and early 20th centuries. I feel like literally just the past 50 years it got way more popular. But let me know what you guys think of this. Do you think they're doing shady things with our blood, with our organs, with our placentas and our foreskins? That rhymed, I didn't even mean for it to, but okay, let's roll with it. This is definitely a topic that I'm highly curious about, because I think there's some really shady things going on behind the scenes. So thank you guys so much for watching. Check out my playlist for more videos. I'll definitely have more videos on this topic. Peace out.